Hi, I am Master Kanbei, also known as Multi-Topic Talk. Today we have a special guest, Profeta. I let yourself present who you are.
Hi there, everyone. I am Profeta 7, and I am very happy to do this collaboration with Master Kanbei. We played a very interesting folk match, so I hope you like it.
Okay, perfect. So I will lower this one even more. I hope it will be low enough so it's not too high. Okay, so we can take a look to your profile. So tell me, is it hard to maintain your rank?
Well, that rating I think is a bit inflated. So I am not that expert of the fog mode, but I do think I have some solid fundamentals, and once you have those, it is easier to win fog matches. But when you begin to play against the, I don't know, Go 7 and those kind of beasts, then you you have to actually learn fog. So I'm still in that process actually.
Why you got Ock as your your most used character?
I like him a lot. I like him, the design, personality, the theme, and I like his playstyle too. But I didn't play with Hawk in our match, and I can explain that in a few minutes.
That's why I was asking because I'm actually surprised to see you got Ock, but you didn't pick Ock, which is a good thing because I truly ate a mirror match. So let's go back to our replay over there. Yeah. So why did you pick Von?
Okay, so first we have to understand the two COs. So basically, Hawk. I'm not going to describe it entirely since you can search for that info. What I can describe about Hawk is his playstyle. So you win with Hawk basically by stalling the match enough so you can leverage from his powers. So even though his day-to-day abilities uh, can make him a fearsome CO in early, when you face the other T1s like Von Volt, who has a better day-to-day ability, so you can't match him in one versus one. You have to have some kind of advantage, like two versus one units, or better positioning, or wait for better CO powers, such as Hawk's powers himself. And about Bomb Vault, you actually want to attack early with him because he has a very good day-to-day ability that makes his recon quite fearsome. Tanking a city is so very hard to take down. But when the match progresses and you arrive to late game, you see that Ex Machina it's not that much of um, a winning tool. So when the CO powers start clashing, it's Hawk who has the advantage. Given that you are not already losing the game, because if that happens, not even Blackstorm may save you. So yeah, and why I pick Von Bolt is basically because this map is very open. So this is an example of WYJ maps that are very open. There's no mountain in the center, so you have to rely on recons to get information. And as you can see, the fronts are not clearly established as which is the strong side of your map and which is the weak. So in many maps, you know where you have to focus your forces and to put pressure to your opponent. But in here in Verdun, you don't have that. You can either go, for example, in my point of view, I can go south or north or the center. So you have to rely on recons to get good intel on the position of the units, of the opponent units. Yeah. So Von Vol does that better.
Very interesting. I like your take on it. Uh, Now, I feel like even if bases are even on both sides, as you said, there's no weak or strong point. I still believe, like at some extent, there's a weak or strong point in this map because you will always be closer from one of the two tower in comparison of the other one, and you will always be closer to some of the building. Like for example, you will be closer from these ones here than these ones here. And I will be closer from these ones to these ones. This is just my take on it. This is the way I see Verdun. Am I right?
Yeah, but you can kind of front switch relatively easy. So i there are some other maps where the difference in which is the strong side and weak side is much more evident. But here it is a bit more unpredictable. So you're totally right in that. For example, my strong side should be the south because it's closer to the com tower and to these properties. But when the top phase ends and armies are pretty even, then it's a coin toss. Your enemy can go from north, south, and you need the intel to know from where your opponent is coming. Yeah.
Okay, very interesting. So let's go over to the game. You are in control, so go at your own speed.
Okay. Well, the first turns are there's nothing much to review. So I'm not sure if you have something to say here, Master Kanbei. You can stop me whenever you want.
Alright, I don't have much thing to say early in the game because we do the same thing.
Yeah, it's the first four turns are pretty normal. Here there's a difference. So you went for the city near the HQ before the airport. So that's I think maybe a good move because your infantry here will be able to get to the center properties faster
Yeah,
than mine.
this is why I did this. Because usually I use the second infantry in the center to take on the airport. This is usually my opening in Verdun. I like to use one infantry each side and the third one in the center because I want to go in the center faster. Because if you go on the back like that, it delays you a turn. But if you're already making 3 infantry, that does not really delay you because you already have your infantry on the front line.
Yeah, that seems pretty reasonable. So basically, um, you are able to reach the center properties faster. So I'm not sure if it hurts your economy because normally when you skip a property early and you go for another that is a little farther, sometimes you can mess up your tank. How do you say it?
Tank
Your
build?
tank timing. So
Okay.
yeah, sometimes by doing that you get to have I don't know 8 k funds of income, and you can if you have three bases, you have to choose between deploying one tank and the infantry or two infantries and artillery. But I'm not sure if that happens now. I don't think so. So continuing on the match. Yeah, so I will go for this property, probably this one, and I'm not sure if this one or this. Let's see.
Now,
Here
I've got a
I build a
question for
recon.
you. Why a recon opening? Usually, I've seen by experience a lot of time the recon opening are not always good because tank counter recon easy. Recon are much better mid game to late game, but maybe I'm wrong because I'm not as high ranked as you. But that's my take on it. So why early recon?
So yeah, I thought that as much a few weeks before ago, I mean, but I'm starting to like Recon more because, especially on this kind of maps, you want to have some intel so to as to where your enemy is going with their vehicles. So not this recon is not necessarily built to harass infantry because that's the best way to have your recon destroyed and you end up losing your recon 4K funds, and unless you harass two infantries or three at least, there is not much benefit from sacking your recon for attacking an infantry. So I built a recon because of that, because I want to have some info as to where you're going to position your units. And there's so many forests that even if my recon is on the fronts and you have a tank in the vicinity, you need to have another unit to scout the forest and then another to attack the recon. So it's not that easy to attack recons that are well hidden.
Okay, this is good. I like your take on it.
So I assume you are going to save up for a tank, no? Let's see.
APC
Ah, an
one,
APC.
early APC, because I like.
Okay.
You see, for a while I thought APC were trash, but then I have seen DJ's video about APC. Since then, I like APC. So
Yeah, I.
usually I try to have an APC early, and I also like to spend all of my money each single turn. Of course, if I get trash unit like mech, I'm not spending all of my money, so sometimes I will have 1k or 2k extra, but I will do my best to spend all the money I had, and turns out to be I had 7k, so either I would go for the opening APC or opening Recon, but I'm not a fan of the opening Recon, but after having your take on it, I can understand why it can be worth it, not necessarily to harass people, but to have intel. But I feel like this is my own take on it as well. Is intel is very important mid game and late game. Earlier in the game, I think tank and infantry are enough for intel. But here again, that's my take, and I'm not as high ranked as you.
Yeah, no, no. I think you're probably right. It's just that these roads are so good for deploying recons. So I'm not sure if I can spot your units early. I haven't reviewed our match after we ended. So let's see if it proves useful or not. So same goes for the APC. So I was talking about if that in the airport would hurt your economy, but now that I see, it might actually have hurt it because now you have 5,000 income. So in the next turn, you only have the chance to deploy 3 infantries if you don't base keep. So if you had 6,000, you could go for a recon and 2 infantries. Or if your plan is not to deploy any recon early, then it doesn't matter. You deploy only 3 infantries and save for the tank.
Yeah,
So
usually I'm not a fan of recon build, but early in the game at least. But you are right. I realize you made a point. Maybe I should have went for the airport faster if I wanted the early recon, but I did not want the early recon. So in my case, my opening was fine.
yeah, exactly. So it's day 4, and I will deploy probably 3 infantries because of yeah, to not base keep. And let's see the APC. Yeah, so this is why I don't like APCs that much, even though I have to say that after watching the use and Go 7 use it, I like them too. But basically this infantry, I'm not sure if it's accelerated that much
It as I started true
because
turn, because you see, it
um
was
yeah
it was there, and now one, two. So one in one turn, he reached two tile. So instead of starting my turn here, I will start my turn there. So this means I will reach
yes
that city faster than if it's there. Because you see, if it's there, no, it's not even there. It's there. You see, one, two, three. So here, one, two, three. Here, one, two, three. I'm one space short. But you see, one,
yeah
two, three. Otherwise, it's one, two, three, four. So you see, one turn earlier, I get that building, and that APC is also to get that infantry inside, and that infantry will, I believe it will go this way, but I'm not quite sure. I
yeah
forgot
I see now.
where I send it, but I think this is on the bottom. So you see, I did not use the APC only to boost one infantry. I used it to boost two infantry. Because you see, this one had a normal move because I can only load in one infantry. But this infantry on the next turn, it will jump two turn. So this is why APC can be good, in quote, because you can boost your infantry. The point of your APC is to boost your economy faster. I think this is the point of it.
Yeah, that seems you're right actually, because this infantry will reach this city faster, and this could go south. But if I use my recon and scouted infantry, then I could take a shot at it,
Yeah.
because I can predict that that infantry couldn't have reached that city on its own. So I can kind of predict an APC opening and that you delayed a tank. So
Yeah.
probably that attack with my recon could be a safe one, but I'm not sure if I did that in our game.
Yeah, and I'm not
So
even
let's see.
sure if I sent it there, because usually when I use my infantry, I don't want to reveal too much of my game, and even if I boost my unit, I won't go for front building. I will try my best to hide my boost and send it on the further building, because if you go on the front building here, you reveal to your opponent you have an APC, and I don't think I did that. If I did that, I was really dumb. But usually I like to send my APC on the bottom here, so it's harder for my opponent to see it, or I send it here, so it's harder for my opponent to guess it.
Yeah, that's a better plan. So perhaps you did that because that sounds a lot more of a better plan. So yeah. So let's see. Next turn you can actually go for a tank,
Yeah,
and I can't go for a tank either. So because of the recon opening,
yeah.
so we're fine. Yeah, so I sent the recon in the center, so I wouldn't have been able to spot your infantry there. And I go for another recon.
Why two recons? Usually I feel like recons, they can be good for intel, but early in the game, two recon, I'm not quite sure of that movement.
Yeah, it's just that I really want to know where you're going to position your units, because if I see an early tank or something, I know I can go the other way and pressure your infantries.
Okay,
But I'm not sure if I did something of that in the game actually.
okay.
So let's see. I want to see where that APC went. Let's see. Okay.
Oh, I actually boosted that infantry to go there and this one to go here. So it's still a good boost because that infantry reached that building one turn earlier. So it's still fine, I believe.
Yeah, it's fine because you position the APC three spaces away from this infantry. So you probably
I
use
can
this
boost it
APC to
again.
boost that infantry here,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah, I think this is
Okay.
what I did.
And you can position your infantry or your APC here. So yeah, it's fine. Let's see.
Now I got 3k
Mhm.
out of that 5k ABC.
Yeah. Yeah, you're using your APC well. So a tank and two infantries. Ah, okay. So now I have information about your entire center, the tower, these properties. So uh, I'm not sure if I can take much advantage from that. I don't remember actually, but I could position my recon here, so that would put you in trouble. I'm not sure if I did that. Let's see.
Usually I see a lot of people doing it, and it's so annoying, but it's so smart at the same time. It's like, just let me have my tower. It's my
Yeah,
tower. It's not yours. But the
and
the
not only
worst
that,
the worst
it's
in that
bomb bolt recon, so it has extra defense.
yeah,
So
and
it's
the
even more
worst in
annoying.
that is the people that actually get your con tower, but then they are not good
Yeah.
enough to hold your con tower, so they lose their entire army to keep your con tower, and they still lose it at the end.
Yeah, yeah. I have I have a few examples of that in fog, in standard, in high funds. Uh, I could do videos about that. About that even when you are behind the tower, if your opponent just cheats all his or her units to keep that advantage, you'll win. So a tank, two infantries. So that tank, I'm not sure if it can reach this tower in two turns.
No, it's return.
Two, three, four, five, six. One, two, three, four, five. No, it can't. So
I'm very experienced. Even if I'm bad, I'm very experienced. I pretty much know the game like my pocket, but I'm bad at it.
now it's I don't know. It's some people have good knowledge of the game, but still they don't perform well in global league or the kind of matches. So there are a few examples. I'm not going to name them, but
I'm one of
I
them.
know some good theorists that don't go well in global league.
I'm one of them. I'm not doing well. I know the game, but I'm not doing well.
Oh, so an entire. Mm,
Now,
okay.
I made an anti-air because I truly hate early battlecopter. I don't like to have the surprise to see battlecopter running my tank. So I like to have a anti-air. I know people tell me, oh, anti-air should be a bit later. I don't like surprise.
I think I can understand you because I don't like early battle copters too. But since you have already deployed an APC, you're a little behind in tanks. So, for example, this Recon can now sit on this tower, and you have nothing to attack the Recon basically. So let's see. I deploy my infantries. This Recon goes here. Yeah, so you see my Recon in the tower. And my tower is pretty safe. I'm not sure if I start capturing it now because I have this city. So I do prefer to go for
The
cities
city,
to
yeah.
have more income. But let's see how I.
And the infantry can chain the com tower as well, so it's just a better move to send the infantry by the city.
Yeah, this infantry in the next turn will end. Will finish its capture, and then can go to the tower
Yeah.
in two turns. Yeah. Yeah, this seem a pretty solid use of APC. Yeah. The entire. This entire could have gone here. Maybe we. Yeah, but let's see. One, two, three, four, and sit on the city maybe. But it can do it anyways from here, so not much difference. And an artillery.
Yeah, I like
Yeah,
I like artillery. They are good in my own opinion. The indirects are really useful. That's why I believe Max is the shit seal, despite most people saying he's OP. Having artillery can really change few game if you use your artillery properly, because they are the price of a tank, but they can shut down medium tank if medium tank are in range, or they can get safe engagement with other tanks without having any shot countered at him or anything, if you know what I mean.
yeah. So there is a problem with artilleries that um, you need to have at least an equal number of tanks with your opponent, because if you have less tanks, your opponent can then just flood the map with tanks, and you won't be able to keep up with the pressure on different fronts. But since we are in fog, this artillery will do better because you can hide it, or it's harder to spot. So this is another reason why I like recons, because I have a match in which I only deployed tanks and no recon, and I attacked with my infantries only to see the opponent's artillery with the last infantry I attacked with. So that cost me the match. Uh, so that's why I want a recon to not fall in those kind of formations. But I'm going to deploy now two more tanks and infantry, so that will be four tanks against one. So yeah, that would be a bit hard, especially since now I have vision of over this entire area, and now this recon is going to have a vision over this entire area. So let's see how it goes. Yeah, so I actually went for the tower and not the city. Let's see. I attacked that infantry, of course. Yeah, so practically now I have total control of the center, so I can see everything except the first, and I have my tanks can harass this entire area. Let's see if I actually did that. So it's turn 9 for you, and let's see, that entire is there hidden. So now you can deploy another tank and an infantry. So let's see if you did that. You hide your tank here. Yeah, it's a pretty normal turn. So this APC basically did its job. It can retire
Peacefully.
proudly.
Because you see, I have an
Yeah.
income lead at that point. I have 2k more than you, only because of the APC.
Yeah, but I have to capture yet. So
Yeah,
if I capture the three properties, I have I'd say we are kind of even here,
yeah,
because as player 2 you want to have a slight advantage in both income and in unit value, and
yeah,
in unit count too, because of the starting infantry.
yeah,
So as a rule of thumb, you basically want to have slight advantage in the unit value of at least half your income over your opponent. For example, I should have at least advantage of 8,000 over you for things to be even.
yeah,
If I have the same unit value than you at the end of my turn, then I am losing. Yeah.
yeah.
So I take out I take out my recon basically fear of a tank coming from
Okay.
here. Or so
But
my strategy here is to actually let you go for the tower, but never let you capture it.
okay.
And for that I have some infantries, the recon,
Yeah.
my tank here. So that's another strategy that you can use. Even in standard and high funds, some people might fall for it. So trying to capture a property but with less numbers. So if you capture a property with an infantry, that infantry is not going to do any combat. So it's one less unit that you are attacking with, and your opponent can punch that. And if you repeat that same process over and over, then you are going to win that battle. I go for my entire and artillery. I do like interest too, so now I am going to deploy it. And the entire it's obviously going to try to stop any helicopter. So yeah, so you harass that infantry. And this is the advantage that I have with a tower and being bombed. So as you can see, you couldn't destroy that infantry, and now I can attack with an infantry of my own from the city and destroy one of your infantries and attack the other. So that will put you in a bit of a disadvantage here.
I do
Yeah,
believe
it's the same pattern here.
if you would be any other seal, I do believe your infantry would have died because one bolt has extra defense and the defense stack. And since you got 2 HP, probably if you had another seal, my first infantry would have dealt 1 extra damage, my second one, if I rolled, would have dealt 1 extra damage. So I think your 2 HP infantry survived only because of your bomb bolt.
Yeah, that's true. But here's the thing: if you have the magic number of 120, that means Hawk. I can use the keyboard. Let's see. Um, for example, you have a Hawk infantry attack another infantry that's not Von Volt, Javier with defense bonus, whatever. It's 100 defense. If you have one tower, you reach the. Let's see, I can just. Can you put the number one there, please? Yeah, so that's right. So it's a first attack that even if the enemy infantry is left with 6 HP, for example, you did only 46% of damage, the second attack will kill that enemy infantry guaranteed. So you have to reach that 120 magic number. But with 110, it's not guaranteed, and that is your current situation. So there is roughly a 33% chance of actually 2-hit KOing that infantry with 110 attack. So it's still well, if you're a Pokemon fan, you have to hit a horn drill to kill that infantry. So it's not that much of a good attack. But with a tower, then yeah, Hawk, it's pretty good. That's why I like Hawk. Because with one tower, you can reach that magic number of 120. And it not only works for infantries, it works with tanks too. So if you have a 120 attack, and you attack with 2 of your tanks, an enemy tank in a city, it's a guaranteed 2-hit KO. But not with 110 attack. So that's the math about it.
Good maths.
Yeah, now that those numbers, there is a chart, a figure out there. I don't have it. Basically, it shows what firepower do you need to do 2-hit KOs or 1-hit KOs. So probably I may do something like that, a chart or something, and I could share it with you. And well, I could do a short video about that too. because it is important to know those numbers so you can see if your attack is going to be successful or no. Yeah, a three hit is uh, guaranteed KO there.
I don't
So
want that
here,
infantry alive.
yeah, that's a very good move there, because if you can put a unit in the city, then I am very much screwed there. So I'm not sure if you did.
No, I did not.
No, that was a mistake. Yeah, because if you see this formation, I can only attack this tank from here. So even being bomb vault, let's see. I think I win the engagement, but your tank survives and I am not capturing the city. So for example, you can retreat this tank here, and you have this tank as reinforcement. So if I chase that tank and probably destroy it, you can then attack with your tank to mine, and it's kind of an evenish encounter, let's say, because I can kill your tank and you probably leave my tank with 2 HP or something like that, but you delayed one of my caps, so that kind of even the fight there.
I think
So
my thought process here
yeah,
with the tank, I wanted to keep it a secret as long as I could, hoping for you to send your troops there because you would believe I have nothing there. That was what I was hoping for. It didn't win that way, but that was what I was hoping for.
that was an interesting strategy, but let's say that there is established meta about the death ball. I'm not sure if you have heard of it.
I heard a lot of that ball. It's sending all the troops at one point and just rolling on your opponent.
Exactly that. So there is an established idea that you have to make a death ball, and you have to push like a trailblazer into your opponent. But I don't like to play like that. At least not until there is a good amount of units that you can put an totally invincible death ball. But if you try to do that by day 12 or something like that, like we are now, then you're going to just lose the cap phase, and you're giving your enemy, your opponent, free terrain.
Yeah,
So at least in the early phases of the game, I tend to distribute my tanks evenly to have enough defenses for anything that comes by. Yeah.
that's interesting. You got a different take than a lot of people with whom I did collab with, and I like that because a lot of people with whom I worked with told me they like to do dead ball, and I think you're the first player that did not say he likes to do it. So this is very interesting.
Yeah, but there are some COs that you can do that better than others. For example, with Von Volt, you
Yeah,
can do this strategy of distributing your tanks evenly much better. Because if I am going to face an enemy tank one on one, I am going to win.
yeah,
But with other COs, and especially when you are against Von Volt, you probably want to play safe. So, for example, in here, if you wanted to destroy my infantry, you should have put the tank in the city. So that would be a more safe attack. The other more safe, but it's a very safe approach, it's to actually don't attack anything. For example, this attack in the north here, uh, probably it would have been better not to do it, especially if you don't have a tank of your own here. And even if you did have a tank, if it was only one tank, and I had a tank here, you would have been in a lot of trouble too.
yeah.
But you're delaying my cap, so that's something. But if you end up losing your units because of delaying your enemy's caps, may put you at an early disadvantage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is what I realized very fast.
Yeah, and Von Volt is the better, is the greatest CO to actually punish that kind of attacks.
Javier with one tower as well, because he's
Yeah,
very similar to Von Gold.
yeah. Basically, with one tower, uh,
He is
Javier
weaker
is
Von Gold.
110 both attack and defense. So Bonvolt is 120 attack and 110 defense. So it's basically a bit more of attack for,
But
but the
Javier
defense is the
Javier has the edge because of his power, because his power is much earlier, and this makes him a lot stronger. But yeah, Javier is not there anyway, so let's keep going.
yeah. Let's go. So I go for the city, and yeah, I can now destroy that in infantry for free. So this 2 HP infantry, it's not that I lost that unit because I can repair it or use it for scout or as a block or something. So those kind of units, low on HP, one should never just give them and throw them to the enemy for free. You can actually give them good use. Yeah.
Like trapping other units in forest. I like to do that a lot. When I have 1 HP or 2 HP infantry, my best move with it, if I can, is hide it in a forest or remove it behind your front line, so maybe you can use it later on for either join cap or join other unit that needs 1 or 2 extra HP.
Yeah, that seems like good uses of those units too. So here I want to highlight an attack, a kind of a pattern of attack. So you can attack with a vehicle, a tank, for example, first, second hit with an infantry, and the third unit, a second infantry, to start capturing a property. This is a common attack, one of the most basic, but it is good to highlight because some people may not know or not have them so interiorized. So even when they have the chance to do something like that, they don't go for it.
Yeah.
So, and I have now reinforced this position with two other tanks. So it will be a bit hard to attack here. But the artillery can do something interesting. It can hide here in the forest and it can get at least one hit for free.
Yeah.
And the second will be a little harder because I will know by watching the replay you attack with an indirect. So
Yeah.
that's an advantage of using the refreshless interface, but because you can see those kind of things. Yes.
That's also why I do believe they should remove the replay and they should stop us from seeing what the other player is doing. But this is my take on the game. This is my take on they should fix that kind of stuff, because the point of fog is to surprise their opponent, to let trap, and to do some interesting stuff. But because we can replay and because we can see live action turn taking place, I believe it's taking away a bit of the bug aspect of the game. But there again, it's just more a rent than the game itself.
Yeah, exactly. It's more card accurate. Yeah, it takes those surprise elements from the game. So it's a matter of taste in the end.
Yeah.
Uh, so I destroy one infantry, two infantries, and put my recon there. So let's. I think I put my tank here or in a position that can reinforce that recon. Let's see. Three infantries. So it's now three infantries down for you.
Yeah.
So for the price of one. So
This
it's
is really bad. I'm already losing at that point.
yeah. That's because I mean that's why you want to play a bit more safe with Hawk against Von Volt.
Yeah.
So if you're going to do some attacks like that, you actually want to be to have more numbers and have indirect support.
Yeah.
So pointing some artilleries onto Volt properties, it's a good idea to put some pressure on Von Volt. But on one, I will win. and then I go for my Raptor. I go for a second entire, basically because this entire by itself would not be able to cover the entire front. And I will say that a big copter here in any of these fronts will totally stop any kind of push that I can make, because tanks can't do anything against a big copter.
I like your take a lot because you're the only player with whom I worked with that told me it's good to have several anti-air. Usually they suggest me to have only one, and I cannot understand at some extent, but I like to see other people like anti-air. I'm not crazy. I'm not the only one that enjoy anti-air.
Yeah, it's let's say that you do delay a tank build by building an entire, but if your opponent do have a big copter in a certain front and you don't have an answer for it, then you're completely checked. So
Yeah.
um, yeah, in the late game, if you have 10 tanks and you're facing one big copter, you can attack with the 10 tanks the big copter if you want. But if you have only one or two tanks, that big copter completely checks them. So it is a good attack.
Now
Is
I
kind of a
tried
good
my
attack.
best to shell the anti-air because I played with Degis and he told me never throw your anti-air on the front line. So this is why I threw a lot of unit there. It's because I felt like I did a mistake by sending the anti-air there. So I was like, okay, since I did the mistake, I will man up, I will send units to shell my anti-air to make sure it's not shut down with ease by enemy attacks. So this is why you see me being really aggressive on that front, because I want to protect the anti-air.
I'm not going to give a spoiler to this attack, but if you put this infantry in this forest, your attack was an excellent one, because now you can put this artillery here and you can destroy my tanks, infantry, or whatever
Yeah,
I throw here.
yeah. I forgot if I
So
did
let's
it.
see if you.
I did a
Yeah,
mistake.
that's
I
the
did not
mistake.
do it.
Yeah, yeah, that's a grave mistake.
I think yeah, I
I
think my thought process was I send my infantry over there to shell the artillery I wanted to place here. I think this is why I placed the infantry there instead of here. But when I look back, I think it should have been there. And I should have maybe placed the artillery elsewhere.
yeah, the thing with the artillery here in the forest is that it is already shielded. And why I say that? It's because you have to scout that forest for me to actually attack the artillery there. For example,
Okay.
if this if that infantry or okay, so the attack was something like, let's see if I remember correctly. No, this was here. And let's see. Okay, it's something like this. The tank is here, and this is good. And you have an infantry here, and another infantry here, and this infantry here. Okay, if this infantry here in the 8-6 tile would have been put here, I would have needed to scout this infantry, or let's see. I can penetrate through here. Let's see. I can
Still,
retreat the 1
you can
HP
still
infantry.
reach the anti-air. Because if
I
you
can
remove
reach
your
the
infantry...
entire.
Yeah, because if you remove the infantry... Go back to
Yeah,
the game.
yeah. Let's
You
see here.
remove the infantry, you just send a tank, or even the other infantry in the back, and take out the 5 HP infantry there. But yeah, it still could have been good to have the infantry here, because I could have trapped one of your units. But I think this is the only thing that would have done.
Yeah, now that I see, yeah, if I put in that infantry here, would have not been enough to for me to actually wall break this formation anyways.
Yeah,
Yeah, in the end it would have been the same.
yeah. I was already in a bad situation at that point.
Yes, but no, this anti-air is going to be attacked. Let's see. But it is not so bad formation.
This is a dead ball,
Mm,
as you said. I wanted like to pressure a lot that point because I truly wanted my Come Tower. I knew each turn I did not add that Come Tower would be a turn where I deal less damage to you, and because of your extra defense, this is a turn you only get stronger. So this is also why I sent a lot of troops on that Come Tower. I believe I really wanted that Come Tower because I knew the longer the game would be, the less of the advantage I would have.
yes. Now I see that putting the infantry in the forest would have been good anyways. But I'm going to keep. I'm going to show it in my turn. So yeah, attack on my recon. Okay, I have been attacked 2 units, but none of them were destroyed. Especially the recon. So this recon is not going to go for repairs. I think it's going to be hidden or something. I can still use it.
Yeah,
So with recons, you actually want to destroy them.
yeah,
But obviously, if you can take a free attack, then it's good. But this is not a free attack
yeah,
because this recon is covered by this tank. And I have the advantage here even if you have two tanks because this tank will practically obliterate this tank and
yeah,
my tank will be at 9 HP or something. So it
yeah.
can endure one of your attacks without tower uh, very well, let's say.
That's also why I wanted that Kim Tower, because I realized I was already on a really bad situation. And if I place that unit there, it's to shield my unit, so I would force you to remove that infantry if you had anything else, so you'll be able to attack from the plane and maybe the city. But even there, two tanks are overlapping each other, and maybe it can be good as a first strike if I counterattack on you.
Yeah, but this free attack I'm going to have, it's not a free attack actually, it's a counter attack. This counter attack I am going to do with my tank will hurt you a lot, even if I don't have a second tank to actually destroy the tank, because it will leave your tank in 3 HP or at least 4, so it will hurt. Let's see. Yeah, so here's
Usually
the
at
thing.
that point in the game I take up, but I realized I needed vision, that's why I went for Battlecopter and tank.
If you wanted vision, you should have deployed recons. Yeah, I learned that the hard way too. When you want vision, you need to have recons.
But
So let's see.
the way I see it, Battlecopter and tank give me 6 vision instead of 4. But of course, if I had tank and recon, it would be 7 vision or 8 vision, but less firepower. But maybe recon should have been better. I really don't know.
Yeah, it's just that it doesn't usually works that way in that you can add the vision of units. For example, it's not actually that you have a 6 vision with your battlecopter and your tank because you will send your copter to a front and you can only see 3 squares. For you to have 6 vision, you would have to send that tank 3 squares away from the helicopter, and if that's the case, then you're just having vision with the tank. So that's why recons are so important in having vision, because for the cost of only 4k you actually have 5 vision. So with one recon you can see the 5 squares. Yeah, but it is I have heard some people say that with if you have enough tanks, you don't need recons because your death ball will be so strong that you can push, and it will not matter if you don't see everything, because you will see what you are attacking. And if your opponent doesn't have the necessary countermeasures, you're going to win anyways, even without vision. But I would have to see a game where that works. So yeah, here comes the counter attack.
That
And
was
okay.
strong.
Uh,
Oh,
yeah, that entire suffered a lot. This counter attack it's not so great because I could have scouted. Yeah, this is a mistake. Now I remember. I wanted to use this 1 HP infantry to scout the forest.
yeah.
And I don't know why I retreated with it. So whoever is watching this, that was a mistake. And this is why I think that putting the infantry in the forest would have been a bit better, because when I scouted a tile, I could have attacked. Um, let's see. Oh, this is not working. Yeah. So, for example, I could have scouted the forest and then attack with this infantry here, destroy that infantry, and with this infantry, attack here.
Yeah.
So it's more angles of attack for me, but
Yeah.
I didn't do that and ended with a suboptimal time. But it did hurt you somewhat, because now I have three tanks. You have two, but one is practically destroyed, and that entire it's not going to stop a copter so much.
Yeah. Oh, this was bad
Yeah,
for me.
that's the counter attack that I was talking about.
At that point, I knew I lost, but I still kept going for a few turns. I was like,
Yeah,
maybe the
no.
Black Storm will save me. Maybe. Maybe.
Yeah, now it's the thing is that you left your units is way open
yeah.
for an attack of mine. So I don't understand this position of your infantries. I don't remember, why did you do it? Did you attack any of my
I
units? I don't
wanted to
remember.
see the Come Tower, and I wanted to try a takeover for the Come Tower. That's what I wanted,
Mhm.
and I wanted to snatch away your Come Tower. That was a
Yeah,
desperate move because I knew I was losing, and I was like, I need to pressure him. I need to pressure him. I need to find a way to pressure him somewhere.
yes, yeah, I can understand that. Yeah, so I take advantage of that, and well, I eat three dudes, as Shu says.
Whoa, it's all blue. Um, we will just click pause on the recording, and I will change the team. So now we got some fun bolts. Let's
This
keep
theme is
going.
so strange. I kinda like it, but it's like I'm in a circus or something like that. It makes me remember Kefka actually. So yeah, as I was saying earlier, I because I didn't scout this infantry did nothing. It couldn't attack, so it was a suboptimal attack because of that. Let's see. Yeah, this RT gets a free attack here
Yeah.
because of it was well positioned. Yeah, it seems alright. The problem is that you don't have enough tanks to reinforce that position.
I have nothing.
Yeah.
You destroyed me at that point. But
You have another
at
tank
least it
here.
will
Yeah.
cost you a lot of stuff to reveal my archery and maybe take a shot at it. At least I did something right. No, I killed most things I could kill.
I think that here I was afraid that you had more tanks, so I actually retreat. Because I want to use my bicopter, because I knew that your entire was out of business for the moment.
Yeah.
So let's see if I did that. let's see here. In the south, things are looking uh, kind of good for me. Yeah, and the join here. When I saw this, I was a bit afraid because I didn't have any tanks here, and here I was going to lose.
Yeah.
So I did retreat here. I remember
At least I won one front at some
that.
point.
Yes.
That's the
So this
consolation
mid tank.
prize. Yeah, I needed to take up because I felt like you were out-tanking me. And I take up because at that point I was like, I cannot keep up with this tank army, so I will just have the bigger guns.
Yeah, yeah. This is what was a surprise when I saw it, but I think that this mid tank made it easier for me to actually recover the south front because mid tank is so slow and it will be at least 3 turns because before it can reach the front.
It's
And
3 turns with tanks anyway.
yes, but with the funds that you had, you could have deployed 3 tanks this turn.
Oh yeah, you're right. Maybe it would have been
So
better. But I'm not a fan of the 3 tank build. I like to have at least 1 infantry each single turn. Sometime when I do medium tank, 2 infantry, if I have enough money the turn after that, I go 3 tanks. But usually I like to have at least 1 infantry per turn because I feel like the turn you stop making infantry is the turn your economy will go down. This is why I'm not a fan of 3 tanks, but sometimes I do have 3 tanks, as I said. Like for example, if next turn I see it fitting, if I have enough money, I would go 3 tanks because I made 2 infantry this turn. But usually, if I just make like 1 infantry a turn, I won't just simply do 3 tanks after that because I feel like I will fall behind in terms of economy.
yeah, that seems reasonable. Um, but it depends. If the cup phase is finished and the positions are kind of even, you don't have to fear that unless you're playing against Sami or something like that, where you need to have some infantries to recapture your properties.
Yeah.
But when things are a bit even, you want to have more vehicles. But
Okay.
it will depend on the board, so having
Okay.
more infantries and not go for the 3 tanks, it's alright too.
Okay.
But the problem with the mid tank is that with 3 tanks you could have more um, attacks with this lone mid tank. So
Yeah.
let's see how it goes. Um,
Oh, that
yeah,
turn
I
is the
go for the
turn.
city.
Everything falls apart. It was already falling apart, but now it's official.
Yeah, it's. I were looking at the stats, and when I saw that it was like, no, this is the end state. I was like 7 kills or so uh, in my favor. So yeah, it was like, okay, I'm going to do some Rambo stuff and go for the city because I think I had the advantage.
You had it.
Uh,
I can confirm at
yeah,
that point you had it. And I knew it.
yeah.
That's also why I went for medium tank.
Yeah, but here I have to retreat because I have no
Oh
way to
my.
combat the tank.
You're
I'm not
dead
sure
ball.
if you fall for the trap here, of
I think
actually
I do.
going for this.
I think I do. That would sound like
Yeah,
me. I fall on each single trap. That's also why I'm bad at the game. I think you give me a bait, I want the bait. I want some pride somewhere.
yeah, uh, yeah. Some let's say that you reach a point where you have to actually think a lot if you're the position of that unit, or because no, let's say that if that unit position that is revealed to you, it's not on purpose by your opponent, because sometimes it is, and you can see an example of that when I fought Go 7, and I analyzed that video actually, and he was putting bombers on Ham's way to achieve something like filling the CO meter, and those were some crazy strats that work out.
I've seen some people
Yeah.
base skipping, which is atrocious, but they show up with three bombers, and you're like, "What the f is going on? I cannot do anything!" And they roll on you because you're shocked and surprised at the same time. It's
No, those things are beyond my comprehension.
you know, you're like, base skip is done, but then you see three bombers, you're like, "Oh no, why?"
Yeah. So I go for the three vehicles here and no infantry for
Okay,
me.
interesting. I think he knew at that point you were in control. That's why you went that way.
Yes, it's just that I am predicting that the gap phase is pretty much ending now. So I want to have more vehicles to keep that advantage
Yeah.
in unit value and unit count. Because if I deployed something like a mid tank and two infantries, that mid tank would have pressure on one front, but the other front would have been much less reinforced.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is the same trap
That
or
that was
mistake
desperate.
here.
That was desperate. That was like, I need to stop what I can stop before I lose.
Yeah. No, but I would recommend to here to regroup and
I
wait for
think I
reinforcements
think
to
I
arrive.
follow up that tank with my other units. I think
Let's see.
this is what I'm doing. I hope this is what I do. Yeah, this is what I seem to do. Yeah, I took the bait, as I said. I take each single
Yeah.
bait someone is giving me. Yeah, I follow up my stuff.
Okay,
And
Black
now,
Wave.
usually I'm not a fan of Black Wave, but I was so desperate to maybe stop this cap. I was like, Black Wave is my only hope to stop that cap.
And now I think Black Wave have some good uses, such as stopping caps. And if you are attacking, you have 10% of increased
Increase.
firepower and defense. So that's a good turn. It could have been a good turn here. You would have more tanks, and if you didn't put a tank in a road, well, I have the possibility to attack with my own from a city.
Yeah.
Uh, but this artillery, if it went here, although it's risky, because if I spot it, I can actually go for the artillery. So, but you have a big copter, something like that could maybe work out. Well, let's see.
I was the living corpse.
No, here you give me for free the anti-air.
I'm like, yo, I want to shield my infantry. I want to scare any battlecopter away.
And you did? I think this battlecopter actually switched from the battlecopter because I wasn't have been able to do anything against that entire. Uh, but yeah, probably if it would have been hidden here or something like that, and I attacked with my battlecopter, it would have been a nice attack for you.
I wanted to scare you away. And I
It
wanted to
worked.
shield my infantry as well.
Yeah, no, you see, you have all of your units except this one that is escaping on roads, so I will obliterate them. Let's see. The copter, mid tank, it's still far.
Now, at that point, I knew I lost my anti-air. That's why I bought a new one. Because I was like, he will kill it. Let's have another one.
Yeah, I didn't destroy the tank, and that's because you used the power,
Yeah.
so it wasn't so bad idea. I think it was a good idea actually. And I sacked the infantry, the 3 HP infantry, to
To
deny
delay the
the,
cap.
or at least delay the cap.
Yeah.
So another good use of a low HP unit.
Yeah.
Yeah, the copter is scared away.
So my anti-air did its job. It didn't aid
Yeah.
itself back, but it did its job.
Yeah, mission accomplished for that entire. Yeah, so this is not looking that bad for you, I think. Let's see.
And now I am happy I will finally get my Come Tower, I think. I'm not quite sure. I don't even know if I resign when I have my Come Tower. Ah, this hurts my feeling a lot. Poor tank.
So this artillery here would have been able to hit one of two tanks,
Yeah,
but it was risky because
yeah.
if I would have spotted, then
That's
I
what I was
would have
afraid
attacked the
of.
tank.
This is what I was
Yeah,
afraid of.
let's see. Yeah, that infantry stuff. Here, this was a bad attack
Because of your
because,
anti-air in the bottom.
for example, if this picopter would have stopped this capture, but going here
Ah,
because
yeah,
you had vision of my enter,
yeah.
so I can destroy this tank
And
and
reach my
just
bottom
go here.
capture. I just
Yeah,
realized it
here.
now. And my
Yeah,
infantry would be hidden in the woods as well.
exactly, and it would
Yeah,
have been a lot harder for me to do something here.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it seems like you're going to capture the tower, but I'm not
But I
sure
think
if you
he will
actually
kill it.
manage.
I think he will kill its two infantries.
Yeah, it's just this infantry here is just so much alone. Perhaps the artillery here, but it would not have. No, you had the mid tank. Maybe. Yes, the helicopter, tank, and two infantries. Let's see. Yeah, it's a free
Goodbye,
attack for me.
copter. You
Yeah,
served your country well.
and the anti-air. Yeah, so I went Rambo here with my helicopter because you would have had an entire here. I wouldn't have been
Yeah,
able to scout it, and it would have been sacrificed for the greater good. So here, exactly, I destroyed the infantry and actually tried to go for the tower.
I just don't get my tower. But you
Yeah,
see,
no,
you
it's
did a good push because you were able to take that Come Tower, and I was not able to take it back. Because a lot of people take the Come Tower but then lose the Come Tower, so they just wasted their resources. But you actually did very well because you were able to maintain the control over that tower.
yeah, yeah, exactly. I have to say, anyways, that I did it because, well, I had the better day to days,
Yeah,
but also because you rush your units here. So
yeah,
perhaps if I'm massing a bit more units and some indirects would have let you have had the tower. I
yeah,
believe it's just the CEO matchup. With Hawk, you want to play a little more stylier, and with Von Bolt, you want to put pressure early.
yeah. Now this is the desperate move of a desperate guy that knows he lost.
Yeah, when I saw this artillery here, I said,
I'm
okay.
like, I lost. I will try to zone out the tanks.
Yeah. And now I have my ex machina close, so when I saw this, I said to myself, I want that ex machina now
So you suck everything
because
you can.
yeah, so I can trap the mid tank because I don't have anything to attack it with. Yeah, I
Yeah,
have the copter, but it wasn't going to be a good attack because you have the anti-air here. So I tried to go for the Ex Machina. Let's see if I actually did.
I think you do.
Uh-huh. Who did I pop up Ex Machina?
Oh, it's
It
probably
wasn't
on
not.
the next turn.
Yeah, it's next turn.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this Antair will get a free attack. Will receive a free attack, and it's done for.
Now this is a desperate guy that don't want to let you get that tower.
Yeah, but it ended in my favor because now you have this blob of units ready for to receive the missile.
Extrikina.
Yeah.
I defend
So
myself
this, yeah.
the best I can, knowing I will lose.
Yeah. I was going to say that this 3 HP recon, it's like a hero because I have vision of all these things. It survived from the early tank hit, so yeah, you want to save those units and not hit them. And yeah, here the Ex Machina. Ex Machina is not always useful because your opponent can actually divert the missile to a less interesting section of the map.
Yeah.
But here it was very useful.
Yeah. I think another mistake I did is creating a a medium tank before your Ex Machina. I think that's another bad thing I did. Usually when I'm against Vonbolt or Ratshell, I wait until the super to make my first take-up unit. But since we were winning, I felt like I had no choice, but that was also a mistake.
Yeah, it was a hard situation here because I can understand that you wanted to tower back because fighting without the tower against a bomb vault with the tower, it's a hard thing.
Vonbolt with 2 tower, forget it. Ox is done for.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was going for the tower myself.
Yeah. If he gets second gun tower, I lost.
Yeah, that would have been a nightmarish.
So now I tried my best
Yeah,
to get Blackstorm. I was like, let's sack everything I can. I want my Blackstorm. Maybe
yeah, I
we
think
can
you got Blackstorm.
flip the table.
Let's see. The other thing for me here is that I have an extra attack and defense.
Yeah.
So
I don't even get that X Machina. That Blackstorm. So at that point I was so disappointed. I really wanted my Blackstorm. And I was pissed off as well. I was like, why? 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 Why me?
yeah, Blackstone there would have been a lot, I think, because now I can attack these units before
Yeah,
the
that.
Blackstorm
Yeah,
and actually wipe them out.
yeah.
Uh, yeah, so this copter is going to survive, I think, because this one of mine is not in range. But yeah, I can destroy many of these units. Yeah, at this point, when I knew that you didn't have any units here, I think yeah, okay, uh, I am winning by a lot. So you see, I didn't apply the death ball strategy. I actually sent units here and
Yeah.
here too. So as you see, I don't like it much, but I am sure that is going to get punished one day of this.
Now I do a Blackstorm for fun, but then I think I resigned this turn after realizing I had really no chance. After I realized I was too far behind, I think I resigned this turn. Do I?
Yeah, probably. Ah, the new tank, yeah.
Yeah, I resigned. Yeah, that was the way I
Yeah.
was coming back. So, any thoughts on the game?
I think well, it was a fun game, but it was decided by two important aspects. So in the seal matchup, I think it was decided by because of me being very aggressive early
Yeah.
and using Van Volt as, days to days to actually be able to pull off that strategy. And the second aspect is that you rushed um, your units much against Von Volt. So you actually, with Hawk, you want to play a little more safe. So you would have made the match last a bit longer, and perhaps would have let you get to tower. But since you rushed so many units and took them, yeah, I was able to deny the tower the entire match.
This is true. I was so far behind. I mean, okay. um, is there any video you would like to plug? I will leave your channel in the description below, but is there any video you are currently working on that will be uploaded in the next few days?
Uh, I'm not working on something specific right now, but if you want to visit my channel, it would be nice.
Yeah, so yeah, you will be on the list on the description
Yeah,
below.
so if you would visit my channel, it would be just alright. Because I have some interesting videos there. I do some Spanish reviews, and I'm doing some English too. I have two English videos right now. One is basically I discuss the topic of when to attack, when not to attack, and why some matches go to a stall situation, which could be very instructive to basic strategies. And if you want some fun, you should go to the match between me and Go 7 in the High Funds Fog format. Because you see, with Olaf against Hawk, you are at a disadvantage because Winter Fury damage is countered by Blackstorm. So Go 7 went for a strategy. I'm not going to spoil the result, but he was able to defeat me with Olaf against my Hawk in an emphatic fashion.
Oh my, this is not you.
Um, that's not me. So
uh,
my name doesn't help me because there are many
Profeta Advanced
people with
Weapons.
name Profeta. Yeah, there it is. So yeah,
I think this is the video I've seen with Eagle, right?
oof,
Yeah,
yeah, that moment there with the
at
Eagle
the end.
match against Sasha. It was, I think it was before the Andy Mirror. Yeah, it's after that Olaf mirror. No, it's after.
Yeah, there we are. This is the video I've seen.
Ah, that. Okay. Yeah, that match. I could review that match. I have the replay, so I could actually do have idea about it. So it was very interesting because I ended up winning as Hawk against Atrus Sasha. So it was interesting too.
So
Yeah.
I think we will end this here, except if you want to add anything up before we say goodbye to the viewers.
No, I just want to thank you, Master Kanbei, because this was a very interesting game, and collaborating with you has been so great and fun. So I would actually want to do it again sometime. And
Anytime,
yeah,
man.
thank you.
And if you have ideas for your channel, I'm always up for a collab. I like to work with other YouTuber. That's why I reach out to anybody I want and anybody I would like to work with. I mean, if we did once, why not twice? Why not three times? Anybody that came by my channel as a guest, I'm willing to be guest in their own channel if they want me. And I will re-invite them later on. Of course, I'm really busy, but if you have project idea, just let me know. I'm always in. and I like working with other YouTubers. It's always fun.
Yeah, I agree. I would be very happy to do another collaboration with you.
Sounds good, man. So, guys, like, comment, and subscribe. Go see Profeta YouTube. I will link his channel in the description below. So, I hope guys will enjoy his content. As you can see, he's much better than me. So, his content is probably better than mine as well. So, see you next time. Is there anything else you would like to add up?
Oh, no, only thank you, Master Kanbei, and you make very interesting videos too. So they are very fun, and I recommend to watch them. I have watched a few of them, and they are worth it, really.
That's good. So, see you next time, everyone.